Good evening and welcome to all. This Poquoson City Council joint work session is called to order. We have two topics tonight for discussion. The first will be related to the north side of Victory Boulevard, a comprehensive plan review, and this is a joint work session with the Planning Commission. And then we will move on to our helmet ordinance. We have Police Chief Stephen Cates with us here tonight. And Chief Cates is going to provide us with a review of state laws and local ordinances as they pertain to the use of bicycles, electric assistant bicycles, scooters, skateboards, mopeds, golf carts, and other similar vehicles on public rights-of-way. I'd like to introduce our planning commissioners with us tonight. Seated immediately to my left is our chairwoman, Heather McClellan-Schott. And this is surreal for me. I remember Heather and her family, of course, from Emmaus Baptist Church when I was growing up. And I first met Heather when her head just barely stuck up above the backs of the pews. So getting to work with her in this capacity is really special to me and much appreciated. To Heather's left, we have Commissioner David Peterson. So welcome. Thank you for being here. To my right, we have Commissioner George Yeager and Commissioner Chaz Hartley. I really appreciate the planning commissioners coming out tonight. We also have with us our Director of Community Development, Mr. Wiley Horton, and our Principal Planner and Commissioner of Revenue-elect, Mr. Thomas Cannella. So appreciate y'all being with us. Just to provide a little bit of context for what we're talking about on the north side of Victory Boulevard, this started with a desire by City Council to be proactive and foresighted. We determined on January 4th of this year, when we had our first ever strategic planning retreat, that we wanted to do a review of the comp plan for the north side of Victory to make certain that our planning was thorough and matched the current perspectives in the city, not only now, but moving forward. We've talked extensively throughout the year between myself, staff, council members on an individual basis. We've coordinated with the Planning Commission as well. We had a joint retreat in June, which has been almost 6 months ago. After a lot of contemplation since then, I'm certain that our perspectives have evolved a little bit. We've probably thought of some things we hadn't thought of at that time, but this process has started from a broad perspective, obtuse, if you will, and we're going to work it down to an acute perspective. We're going to get it dialed in. And normally processes like this are not linear in nature. More times than not, they tend to meander as we work our way to where we want to be. As we typically do, we're employing a collaborative effort to get input from all involved, the community in particular. We've already had opportunities through audience for visitors and public hearings. We will continue to do so to make certain that everybody is well represented in this process. But it is just that, it's methodical. Tonight is just the latest step as part of the process as we get it dialed in. I wanted to share some additional thoughts on this, and Manager Randy Wheel and I have talked extensively about this, and I asked Randy to summarize the conversations that we have had regarding the north side of Victory Boulevard. Randy wrote a draft, and just another indication of how closely we work together. I perused Randy's draft several times over, and I realized that he had captured my thoughts to a T, and I didn't change a single word of it. So what I'm going to share with y'all tonight is the draft that Randy wrote, so I want to recognize him and credit his efforts. But hopefully this will help people understand where we've been, where we are, and where we intend to go with this, with a lot of help from the Planning Commission. They've done exactly what we asked them to do at the joint retreat, and it'll be pivotal in moving forward. But just would like to share these thoughts. The question that I get often from citizens of Poquoson is, what was the council's purpose when it established this strategic initiative of conducting a careful review of the city's comprehensive plan and supporting ordinances related to the north side of Victory Boulevard? There are many rumors around town that this is to pave the way for a large development project, such as another planned unit development mixed-use project, while others believe that it is an effort to reduce or eliminate current by-right development rights of property owners or private property owners. Neither of those rumors are true. We believe very much in the rights of private property owners, and the tongue-in-cheek term that I use to describe this is the mythical Legacy 2 on the north side of Victory Boulevard. And I can tell you, I'll elaborate a little bit, there is no such thing. While I do not speak for all the other council members, they'll have a chance in just minutes to share their views as well. But I don't think this is very far off because we work so closely together. I'm pleased to share my perspective on this issue based on conversations I've had with my fellow council members, members of the Planning Commission and the Economic Development Authority on this issue since I became mayor earlier this year. In my view, the primary purpose of the strategic initiative is to review the comprehensive plan to ensure that the sections of the comprehensive plan pertaining to the north side of Victory Boulevard reflect the current vision of the city of Poquoson for the development of the area over the next 20 years. So this is not just, for the immediate future. This is for decades to come. The comprehensive plan language and current zoning have been in place with limited changes for more than 2 decades. There will be opportunities at both the Planning Commission and City Council level for citizens to share their comments, suggestions, and concerns before any changes to the comprehensive plan are made. And right there, I'll just offer, like I said earlier, we're motivated to take the initiative to be proactive on this from the council's perspective with support of the Planning Commission and staff. Nobody's pushing us to do this. We're not on any particular time frame, but to get where we need to be, we have to start somewhere, and we did that back in January, and we're progressing our way towards it. We're going to take our time and ensure that we have uncovered all rocks and covered all our bases on this as we're making plans. Plenty of public input along the way. I would like the community to know that there are no current development plans or applications filed with the city relating to the development of any of the undeveloped properties in Big Woods North. In fact, earlier this year, the City Council worked with the Planning Commission to remove the planned unit development mixed-use category from the city's zoning ordinance and is on record expressing its opposition to high-density residential development in the Big Woods. Just for emphasis, let me go back through that one more time, just to make sure that we're clear on that. Council is on record expressing its opposition to high-density residential development in the Big Woods. That's pretty clear, and we're unified on that. This means that at present, the only means for development in this area is either by right, based on current zoning, or through a formal rezoning process. So our efforts to review and update the comprehensive plan supporting ordinances are both timely and important. As the council, working with the Planning Commission, envisions this part of the city developing over the coming decades, it is our desire that any development would be of high standards, integrated in terms of the overall transportation network, including bike and pedestrian accommodations, and be done in conformance with the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinances. For this reason, again, I believe it is essential that we make sure that the comprehensive plan is up to date and reflects the city's long-term vision, that its supporting ordinances are in order. Again, Randy, thank you for your words. That sums up my perspective to a T. I would like to comment as well about an ordinance that we're going to deal with during the regular session. This is related to fiscal year 2026 mid-year budget recommendations, specifically item number 4, and I'll address this again during the regular session. Fourth recommendation from staff to council is to utilize $170,000 of the unassigned fund balance to have funds available for a north side of Victory property acquisition. Earlier this year, City Council authorized the manager to make an offer of assessed value for properties that may become available on the north side of Victory Boulevard. When and if that occurs. That was done to streamline the process so the manager could act quickly if something became available and not have to come back to council specifically to get authorization. If approved tonight, this $170,000 will be a contingency fund. It'll be money that is set aside to support that purchase. And we'll also expand the manager's authorization, so now not only will he be able to make an offer, he'll be able to close the sale, of course under the guidance of our legal counsel and that sort of thing. Again, it's just to expedite the process and make it more efficient without the hold up of having to come back to council. So all this is being done in advance, again, to be proactive. Our motivation for the desire to acquire property, if we can, is for that property to be utilized for the greater good of the citizens of Poquoson, for things such as outdoor amenities, walking trails, a park, or also just for simple conservation, preservation. So let me emphasize that as well. Conservation, preservation. Haven't heard anybody opposed to those concepts. So this is another proactive item that we hope to pursue. And again, I'll elaborate on that again when we get to it as an agenda item on the regular session. Before I turn this over to Chairwoman Scott, I wanted to offer my fellow council members opportunities to elaborate on my words. If y'all have any comments, you please feel free.
The only comment I would make, Dave, is I thank you for making it clear that the rumor mill about what we were going to do with the property and our intentions were not as they were presented on Facebook and other media.
Thank you, Mr. Southall. And
I think clarification of that was important because there's a whole lot of rumors running around and none of them were true.
Yes, sir. And Heather and I, we've spoken about this in advance, and I wanted to do my part, and Heather will elaborate as well. So we like to take that collaborative approach. I'd also like to welcome Planning Commissioner Mike Armentrout. So I appreciate you being with us, especially with the weather being like it is. So with all that being said, at this time, I'd like to turn the work session over to our Planning Commission Chairwoman Heather McClellan-Scott. So Heather, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Mayor, council members, city manager, Wheeler, staff, and residents. Planning Commission has met extensively on this and discussed this. We did meet for a work session on August the 10th, as well as a work session and meeting on September 15th. We held an audience for visitors at that time, specifically related to this project. And we also had an additional meeting for a work session on October 20th. And our concerns were just what we heard from the public were what Mayor Hux has just covered. And I started off Planning Commission's addressing those concerns that the public has. like you said, you phrased it best. The rumor mill gets started, and I wanted to be able to tell them what Planning Commission was doing. What we're doing, what you tasked us to do, was to look at the comprehensive plan and see if it still worked, this portion of the north side of Victory Boulevard. And what we heard from you in the retreat was this. You didn't think that the research and development, while it was good and it had good thoughts when it was initially established, it's really not working anymore. So what did we envision that, and what should we, as Planning Commission, recommend to you going forward? We really felt one of the things that Planning Commission really strived to do was get public input. We wanted to be out there. We wanted to receive feedback. Again, like I said, we've held audience for visitors to discuss this. We've received emails. And what we didn't receive, your staff in community development do a fantastic job in public coming in and meeting with them or answering those phone calls. So we are very fortunate to have them working and advising and with the Planning Commission. Initially, like I said, we heard that the research and development didn't work, and Planning Commission agrees. We also agree that we want to make sure we don't rush anything, that we don't want to jump in, feet first in, and do something that the citizens don't want here. But we also respect property owners' rights in doing so and having that property. So again, we were trying to balance all of that because we want to get this right to advise you of how we see this going forward. You tasked us with the project, we've dived right in, and we want to get this right for the community in which we all live and love. And that's most important to me. I've grown up here, and it's important to me to get that right, as well as our other commissioners. And with that, I would like, if it's okay with you,
Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, to give our other planning commissioners who are present the ability to speak on this, as you also did with City Council before we jump into the memo of what's before you this evening. Mr. Hartley.
I mean, let's be honest, we all want to move here, and then we want to shut the door, right? Legacy 1 doesn't want Legacy 2. Legacy 1 doesn't even want all of Legacy 1. I know, I talk to people, I have a lot of friends. It's just the nature of living here. We love it how it is, that's why we move here, and any change, it's like, oh, it's like, we moved here for a reason. If that changes, and it's not the same. But also, and Mr. Mayor, Heather, what you just said was beautiful. Let's post that word for word out there, okay, on social media. We need a better social media presence, because when people only hear one thing over and over again, they only believe one thing over and over again. Amazing job there. I mean, you nailed it, both of you there. So just let's post that and get it out there. If not, I'll share it to mine. So thank you.
Mr. Yeager.
I also would reiterate that that letter, I think, can be an important message to continue to share with the public. And I support what Commissioner Hartley mentioned regarding that. This tract of land that is before us the last 6 to 8 months here that we've really studied hard on is twice the size of Legacy in regards to acreage. It's the last big piece of land really in Poquoson, so it is critical that we get it correct. And I think that's been kind of our motto, if you will, that we take a very strategic, methodical look at this, and that we encourage the public to provide us the feedback that's necessary to get this right. And if you go back and revisit the comprehensive plan when it was the most recent one, and you look at the feedback from the community members, it was clearly evident then, and I think with the recent feedback in the last 6 to 8 months, that it's the same message that we're getting, what they desire. And I think what the actions that we've taken and what City Council is supports the desires of the community, which I think is critical. So I just would like to say we look forward to continuing this important action before us.
Mr. Armitrout?
Yes, I think, this property, or these properties are a unique opportunity for Poquoson. It's to really develop an opportunity for folks to actually work here instead of leave and go somewhere else and then come home. So I think I'd like to echo what my fellow commissioners have said is, we would right this time so we can attract good businesses here but do it correctly so it's what the residents would like to see as well. So.
Let's take the opportunity to say thank you again to all the citizens that came out to our public session. Widespread of points of view. Excuse me. That was just an exception. Public and to further develop private citizens may have going forward. So thank you.
That being said, Mayor, how would you like to proceed?
Answer that, can I open the floor to the staff member? Thank you.
Yep.
Staff, please feel free to chime in.
I'll jump in and then I'll turn it right over to Wally.
Thank you.
What we would suggest is allow Mr. Horton the opportunity to sort of provide a visual context for the conversation, mostly for the people at home. And then at that point, we'll turn it back to the chairman of the Planning Commission and let her review the Planning Commission's recommendations.
Thank you. Wally?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I will begin with that presentation that Mr. Wheeler just referenced. This is the zoning map of Poquoson. So basically the area that we're looking at is, if I can get my clicker, I was a little worried about this before. It's not very visible, but north side of Victory, which is right across from City Hall Avenue, and right across from Legacy on the north side. And why are we doing this? Well, among other things, after vision and missions paragraphs, strategic initiative number 1, adopted by the City Council on February 10th, 2025, instructs us to conduct a careful review of the city's comprehensive plan and supporting ordinances, prioritizing the north side of Victory Boulevard, followed by an evaluation of the city's central business district. Now, of course, we're not there yet. We're doing the north side, but and a lot of this you saw at the retreat, but I thought it bared sort of repeating. The R1 area is single-family residence. It is low density. It's about 97 acres in size. You've got research and development, which is I would say the purple and the general commercial is more purple than the research and development. Research and development would be light blue. Those crosshatches you see are left over from the Planned Unit Development Overlay District, which, as the mayor pointed out, we did abolish first half of this year. April, I believe it was. I am really struggling with this thing. I don't know why. Okay. Supposed to advance one. Okay, area of focus. I guess I was holding it wrong. The areas of focus, you can see the Big Woods development, which is indeed a Big Woods area. And you can see what we call the short fin, which is the area that's in the red outline. So we took a look at R1, which is the more orange colors, research and development, the blue, and general commercial, the more purple of the colors. These properties, for the most part, are in disparate ownership, and actually on the wall, it's kind of hard to see here, but there is a list of the property owners for each one of the parcels in the Big Woods North area. And this is our future land use map in the comprehensive plan, and I've actually got to zoom in for that. But again, we're looking at the north side of Victory, the area that sort of yellowish color is really low density residential. The blue, again, is research and development, and the purple is general commercial. We also referenced some materials. You might have seen those when you looked over the packet that talked about the B2 district and the B1. We included that because the general commercial district wraps up those permitted uses as well. In our conversations, there was a lot of conversation about access, and Oakmore was part of that. This is a plat from July of 1983, so it's an old plat. But you can see where you can see on the picture to the left there where those roads come into the R1 zoned areas, or the low density residential in terms of the comp plan. Those roads were listed for further development to access some of those parcels. Now, there are some environmental features, and to be quite frank, we don't know exactly where the limits of those are because there hasn't been any wetland studies done back here for quite a while. I can tell you from my experience, there have been 3 different groups of people that came to look at expanding Oakmore, and nobody's done it as of yet. And that's just an aerial of the roads right there. And with that, unless there are any questions, I'll turn it back over to Heather. Ms. Shaw.
Thank you, Wally. Appreciate it.
With that being said, we put together, and I'd like to read this so I get this correct, of recommendations that we bring forth to you collaboratively as the Planning Commission this evening. And starting off with point 1, the Planning Commission elaborated on Big Woods North distinctions by recommending references to the Big Woods North residential and Big Woods North commercial. Development style should be cohesively planned, more like a master plan community than a piecemeal development. This may require a joint effort by all stakeholders, being the city, Economic Development Authority, and of course, the numerous property owners. Any traffic into the R1 zone properties, Big Woods North residential, for by right development in accord with all zoning district regulations should be off of existing public streets such as Yorktown Road and Oakmore Road, and should be focused on areas where existing frontage is available or can be acquired for a new street, and in any case should require a traffic impact analysis for review in order to ensure efficient traffic flow. In cases where R1 properties are landlocked or where no access exists or can be created, access to a new development from a new public street off Victory Boulevard should be in the ownership of the developer at the time of the application, be limited to the new public street, be focused towards existing intersections such as City Hall Avenue, Legacy Boulevard, and Big Woods Drive, and require a traffic impact analysis for review in order to ensure efficient traffic flow. The Research and Development District in the Big Woods commercial area should be redesigned in favor of general commercial in the 2018-2038 Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map. And language speaking to environmental and access issues in this area will be retained. And that is Planning Commission's collaborative recommendations to City Council this evening.
Thank you, Heather. Council members, did y'all have any questions or comments? Heather? Y'all need some guidance from council?
Yes, sir, we would like some guidance on how to proceed.
Okay, I can provide that. In keeping with our theme of being methodical, systematic, patient, in light of the great work that y'all have done for us, planning commissioners, we would like the opportunity to digest this information, digest what has been discussed tonight. We'll have the opportunity to consult with staff and talk individually amongst ourselves as council members, and we will follow up with the commission in a timely manner to be more specific than what we're talking about right now.
And I think that shows the citizens that we're trying to get this right, that what we're doing is for the whole community, and we're not just jumping headfoot in. And I appreciate that as the Planning Commission Chair. I'm sure the other Planning Commission members would agree, and I'm sure our citizens would agree with that as well.
I just want to ask one more time, Mr. Southall?
Yeah, just one comment. I think the last suggestion that you made was really important. Having the accesses match up with City Hall Drive and the two entrances in the Legacy, traffic impact studies done at the same time, okay? Because citizens of Poquoson have made many comments about traffic impacts because of Legacy, the new stoplight and so forth, and any additional.
Thank you, Mr. Southall.
I just want to say that I am so heartened by all the discussions and all of the comments that everyone here has made so far today. I have been watching the meetings, and the deliberations have been very insightful, very intentional, very conscientious of making it the best that it can be. And I feel like as the commissioners went around, that was the common theme. Let's get this right. Let's make it as good as we can get it. And that was really heartening to hear. A quick note, I also heard during the deliberations, there was a desire to hear from VDOT about the future of Victory Boulevard and the enhancements. And I know that was heard too, and unfortunately they weren't able to be here tonight. Hopefully that'll come soon, and if that informs any deliberations, that's another tool in the toolbox there. I know Wally had mentioned wetlands, and going back, I reprinted out the meeting minutes that we had from our initial retreat, and just a thought of, hey, leveraging the wetlands to be an asset. And, I highlighted so many phrases from the minutes from our original retreat that really went hand in hand with what everybody has said today. And, I highlighted, there's no urgency to develop this property. We want to be the best version of what it is, and the 20-plus year plan is a generational strategy. And I think everyone very much internalized that, and I think that's a great motivation going forward, that it is generational, and I am eager to hear how this progresses, and I'm eager to hear all the opportunities to whatever tailored approach this is. If there are bespoke overlay districts, if there are tweaks to zoning, I'm very eager to hear how that all shakes out through the process. So I think we're heading in a good direction.
Angie, thank you very much. And just to give credit where credit's due, for all those that might not be aware, Councilwoman Emmett served for 5 years on the Planning Commission, and she is a former Planning Commission chairwoman. so she can speak with authority on this subject matter as well. So thank you, Angie. Debbie?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to thank all the commissioners for being here tonight with us to have this work session, and also thank you for your service and for the time that you have spent on this topic, and look forward to working with each of you in the future regarding this. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
I was going to say, I think you're all doing a great job. Watching the monthly Planning Commission media on television's families highlight. We make the popcorn, we sit around the TV, and it's just a good time to watch y'all. My only comment to improve it would be to make sure you speak in the microphone. It doesn't always translate when the microphone's over there, so make sure like that. So otherwise, it's great. I think you're doing a great job.
Thank you, Keith. If there are no other comments or questions, before we close this aspect of the work session, would like to recognize a special guest we have with us tonight. We're honored to have with us former council member or vice mayor, Mr. Harold Quinn. Served many years on the city council, and I remember when I was a senior in high school in government class, Mr. Quinn was an answer on a test because we had to identify all 7 council members. Mr. Quinn, thank you for being here tonight. And with that, we will close this portion of the work session, and we'll move on to the next one with Chief Stephen Cates. And I would invite the commissioners to stay. Be glad to have y'all, but with the accumulation of snow, certainly understand if y'all need to head on home. We appreciate y'all being with us tonight. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We'll see you in a couple of days.
Christmas party tonight, so we'll go there.
Everybody drive safe home.
Yes, for sure.
Well,
Should have done that before.
I was on the weather bill. As we used to say in aviation.
Oh, yeah.
I remember. Weather hole. Yeah.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Are you too? Bye-bye.
No, thank you so much.
Good night. Virtual.
Yep.
Blowing up. And
I know, I got it, I'm here and then there, yep.
And then I've got appointments. I had appointments.
Oh, no. Yep. That was gonna be happening.
Got me a little confused. I was reading going.
I got
yes,
confused.
sir.
I think it got me was, what? If they were misdemeanor.
I keep ramming into you.
I can't go any further this way.
I think we can go ahead and
That's always
proceed with
confusing.
the
That's a class
next
3.
portion of our
What does that mean?
work session. I'd like to call at this time on Chief Stephen Cates to give us a presentation.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of council. I've put together a presentation, as you'll recall earlier this year, I brought before council a proposal for an ordinance to require bike helmets when operating a bicycle on public right-of-way for those age 14 and younger in accordance with the permissibility of state code. To my surprise, it spawned quite a bit of conversation from that, which is not a bad thing. What I have for you tonight is a presentation to go a little more in depth of what the current state laws are regarding bicycles, electric assisted bicycles, pretty much anything that operates on our public right-of-ways other than conventional automobiles. And so with that, we'll move into the presentation. I'm going to start off with talking about the electric power assisted bicycles, and there's some definitions from state code, and it defines an e-bike as any vehicle with three wheels three or fewer vehicles in contact with the ground, pedals that allow propulsion by human power, a seat for the rider, and an electric motor with input of less than 750 watts. And under 46.2.100 and related sections, e-bikes are treated as bicycles with some limitations rather than regular motor vehicles. Motorized skateboards or scooters, electric power, personal assistive mobility devices are defined in the Code of Virginia 46.2.908.1. Motorized skateboard or scooter may have a speed of up to 20 miles per hour on level surface when powered solely by an electric motor. And an electric personal assistive mobility device, for example, Segways, are subject to a 25-mile-an-hour cap in some contexts. The state code goes into very extensive detail on some of those contexts. There are limitations that are allowed to be prescribed in those contexts under local ordinance. And I'll talk a little bit about that when I get to the local ordinance pieces. I'm not going to read the whole thing. 908.1 discusses personal assistive mobility devices, all of these different type of equipment, and what their batteries have to be sealed. Excuse me. And no person shall at any time, at any location, operate an electric personal assistive mobility device at a speed faster than 25 miles an hour. Motorized skateboard or scooter more than 20 miles an hour, and no person shall operate a skateboard or scooter that would otherwise meet the definition of motorized, but capable of speeds greater than 20 miles per hour at more than that speed. And so if they do, it's a violation of this code, which is a traffic infraction, punishable as such under the state code. And nobody under the age of 14 can operate these type devices unless they are under the immediate supervision of a person that's at least 18 years of age. So if they're riding a motorized skateboard, a motorized scooter, or a Class 3 e-bike, which is the highest class that can go up to 28 miles per hour, and I'll talk about that a little bit more when I get a little deeper into the presentation. They have to be under direct supervision. Doesn't mean, when we talk about a learner's permit, the direct supervision's in the car with them. It's a little difficult on a bicycle or a skateboard, but it's in close proximity, and that they have to be close enough to respond and act to control the operation if it gets out of control, is what that part of the state code means by immediate supervision.
Chief, does
Yes.
this include like handicap scooter type devices like you'll see in Food Lion where people just motor up and down things? People have personal ones.
Right. So it does not, this part of the code does not talk about
that type of mobility device as far as disabled scooters.
Okay, thank you.
Those are governed under a totally different section, and they're okay on sidewalks, but you shouldn't be on the highway with them.
Yeah.
Is the summary on that one.
Yeah.
So, under city ordinance, we have definitions of motorized skateboard and scooters under 78251. A vehicle, regardless of the number of wheels in contact with the ground, that has no seat, designed to be stood on by the operator, no VIN number assigned, and is powered by an electric motor having an input of no more than 1,000 watts, or a gas engine that displaces no less than 36 cubic centimeters. Motorized skateboard includes vehicles with or without handlebars, but does not include the electric personal mobility devices like Segways. Violations of the article, Class 4 misdemeanor, and I was asked about that, what that means. Class 4 misdemeanors are punishable by a fine of up to $250. Provisions of this section of the city code apply whenever these vehicles are operated on any roadway within the city. There's no exceptions in any particular neighborhoods. City code requires that if motorized skateboards or scooters are operated within a half hour after sunset or a half hour before sunrise, that they be equipped with the same type of lighting as like a motorcycle would be after dark. The distance that you'd have to be able to see the light is more specifically defined, but you have to be lighted if you're operating after dark. They have to have warning devices, skateboards, scooters equipped with a horn or a bell that can be audibly heard from at least 100 feet. We don't see a lot of these type vehicles being operated in the city. Riding on the right side of the right-of-way, these type scooters, skateboards have to be operated with the flow of traffic. If they're operating on the public roadway, they have to be with the flow of traffic, meaning on the right side of the highway. Riding on sidewalks and pedestrian paths, motorized skateboards and scooters are not allowed on sidewalks in the city. If they ride a skateboard in the roadway, paved or unpaved, they have to yield the right-of-way to pedestrians, just like a vehicle would. So the city code makes the general rules of the road that apply to automobiles apply to skateboards and scooters, and including prohibiting cleaning the vehicles. They have to wear helmets if you're operating a motorized skateboard or scooter, and you are required to have a valid operator's license issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles to operate these vehicles on public roadway. Any questions on skateboards and scooters?
Just a quick comment.
Yes.
Way back, right after a Christmas one year, and I don't remember the year, but there was just a rash of those little motorized with the gas motor skateboards zipping all over the place, up and down sidewalks, all over the streets with very young kids. That's why we put that in there.
And those very wise, because they can be dangerous, and it's
they
not
were.
as easy to see. Young folks especially operating something like that, especially as we get into the later hours of the day and light is not appropriate. So we have to have some controlling ordinance. Yes, sir.
I'll embarrass myself to my grandchildren, but hoverboards or the boards that have the one big wheel in it, is that considered a skateboard?
They do fall under the same definition as motorized skateboards.
Okay, great.
Chief Cates?
Yes, ma'am.
I apologize. Did I hear you say that there is a particular one, class that is not allowed at all within the city limits? Did I hear you say when you were, it was an aside and you said that there was something that was not allowed at all?
Yes.
Maybe I misheard. I'm sorry.
I have to back up. I didn't memorize it. It was No, it was the motorized, any of the bikes that travel more than 28, but any of the skateboards or scooters that are capable of going more than 20 mile an hour are not allowed to be used higher than that speed anywhere in the city.
Okay, thank you.
Get back to the right page. So now we'll talk about the e-bikes a little bit in a little bit more detail. The state code does divide them into three classifications. Class 1 is pedal assisted with a motor assisting when the pedals are being operated. And so you have to be pedaling for the motor to actually help out. And the motor will disengage if the bicycle reaches 20 miles per hour. So the motor cannot help beyond 20 miles per hour. And for the purposes of state code and traffic enforcement, they are treated the same as a standard bicycle. And it cannot operate in a throttle-only operation. They have to be pedaling. Class 2 is the same as Class 1, with the difference being that it can operate in a throttle only, but the motor still must disengage when the vehicle reaches 20 miles per hour. It cannot continue to accelerate at that point. Class 3 also requires that the pedals be in motion in order for the motor to work, but it can go up to 28 miles per hour. The bike must be equipped with a speedometer showing its speed in miles per hour, and riders under the age of 14 or 14 and under cannot operate them on the highway unless they are in direct supervision of an adult, and helmet rules apply regardless of age on the Class 3s. You have to wear a helmet on Class 3 e-bike. For all classes, the motor must disengage when the rider stops pedaling or when the brakes are applied. If the brakes apply, if you squeeze the brake on the handlebar, the motor has to disengage. Anything manufactured after January 1st, 2021 must have a label from the manufacturer designating the classification and the top assisted speed and what the motor's wattage output is for that bike. And they're typically, those labels are found on the post under the seat or right at the handlebar frame. But most of them that I have seen are right on the seat post of the bike. Any questions about the e-bikes? So golf cart regulations, because this conversation has evolved quite a bit since that first meeting when we were talking about just bicycle helmets. Because there's been quite a bit of discussion about golf cart regulations and how those are being used and what's what. And so I included those in here as well. In order to operate under city ordinance in the city of Poquoson, in order to operate a golf cart on city streets, you must have a valid driver's license issued by the Department of Motor Vehicles. Whether it's a Virginia license or another state, it doesn't matter. It must be a valid current driver's license. Golf carts may not operate on streets that have a speed of higher than 25 miles per hour for the speed limit, but the golf carts themselves cannot be operated at a speed in excess of 25 miles per hour. They require an annual safety inspection. We do have a facility in Poquoson that offers that service. It is a little bit different than the inspection of your car, but they are available to our residents. You must be able to prove that you have a liability insurance policy that has a minimum coverage of $300,000 to operate that vehicle on Poquoson streets. Must have, if you're driving between sunset and sunrise, you have to have headlights and taillights. There's a decal to prove that you're in compliance. There's an application that has to be completed, and with a $10 fee attached to filing that application at the police department. And then we issue you a sticker that is displayed on the right side, lower right side of the windshield, or in close proximity to where that would be if yours does not have a windshield. So some of the limitations to those operations include you cannot operate a golf cart within 150 foot of any intersection where the speed of the intersecting street is above 25 miles per hour. So if you can't get within 150 feet of, there's about, I think we're at about 6 or 7 streets right now that are higher than 25, and you can't be within 150 feet of any of those. The vehicle must display a slow-moving vehicle emblem on the rear of the vehicle. That's those orange reflective triangles, and they are available at most retailers such as Walmart and hardware stores. No operation during inclement weather or situations of low visibility. You can't get on a golf cart if it's foggy outside. If it's raining hard or if it is snowing, leave the golf cart at home. And it must not carry more passengers than the golf cart is designed to carry. Each person on that cart must have a seat available to them. And that seat is not qualified as someone's lap. So golf carts under city definitions right now are not designed or manufactured to be used on public streets. We recognize that. They are designed to be used on golf courses. And so the City of Poquoson in no way advocates or endorses the operation on public streets or roads. And likewise, the City of Poquoson assumes no liability for allowing golf carts to be operated on public streets under special legislation granted by the Virginia General Assembly. And I won't read every word of this, but part of what's included in the safety inspection is the working lights, a working horn or warning device. The brakes are adequate. Factory installed safety mechanisms must still function. Must be governed with, if it has a gasoline engine, it must have a speed governor installed, and they do come from the factory that way. Safety belts, if they come from the factory, they have to be there and they have to be working. Rubber tires, slow-moving vehicle emblem, proof of insurance, and the owner of the golf cart is responsible for obtaining certification of the inspection to file with the application for the city permit. Any questions about that part of the golf cart stuff?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
Recently, you and I had a conversation about golf carts, and a traditional golf cart is 2 seats up front and a place in the back for 2 golf bags. And the question was, because we've seen things that might be in the same universe as golf carts, maybe they got 3 rows of seats, maybe they don't have a place for golf bags, but maybe they've got a jump seat in the back. So my recollection of what you told me is that the state code definition in our ordinance, a golf cart is a traditional golf cart, 2 seats with a place in the back for golf clubs, which is not to be used for a seat. Am I correct?
Correct. That is currently the verbiage that is in the city ordinance. The 2-seater golf carts, just like what you would see if you go to any golf course around to play around. You got a bench, typically a bench seat, and then 2 racks in the back for 2 sets of golf clubs. And that's the way the verbiage currently is in our city ordinance. That's the only type of golf carts that are allowed.
You're saying that the 4- and 6-seat vehicles are not golf carts?
Under the current definition in Poquoson City Ordinance, they do not qualify as golf carts for the purpose of this ordinance and the operations in the city.
So would they qualify as just regular vehicles? if they
No, because they're not
meet-
legal for street
Okay.
operation at that point.
All right.
This might not be a proper time to say this, but I'm going to bring it up so that I don't forget to say it. I have a concern for some of the golf carts being operated at night. There's been a couple of occasions where I've seen some on the highway coming at me that I am reasonably certain the headlights did not come with the golf cart, that they look like light bars that had been bolted on, LED lights that are extremely bright and blinding. Okay? On one occasion, I had to pull to the side road. I just could not see from the light bar that was on the front of that cart. Any provision for making certain those lights are approved lights?
That's part of the safety inspection, because without going into the minute details of what the safety inspectors look for in that, that's part of it. It's just like when you take your pickup truck for a state inspection, they check they don't just check to see if your headlights are working, they actually are supposed to check how they are aimed. And that is to prevent your lights from blinding other drivers. And so it's a similar process for golf carts, the lights that are installed on them as well.
And the other question was, at least on 3 occasions in the past 2 weeks, I have passed e-bikes on the highway at night with no lights, okay? No headlight, no tail light. 2 of the occasions, they were operated by young people. The 3rd occasion, they were operated by an adult. Are our officers citing those people?
So what we're trying to do at this point in time is we're trying to educate our community about what's required. And so citations can happen. Typically, that's actually my next slide. Particularly with underage violators, a lot of times what we will typically do is we will have a conversation with them, but if they're in violation of a code, we typically will contact a parent or a legal guardian and have them respond, and we'll also explain to them why we're interacting with their young person.
Okay, well, my reason for asking the question is not so much to see that they get a ticket of any kind, okay? But it's extremely dangerous. In one case, one was playing chase with the other one, and they went through the intersection between Poquoson Avenue and Smith Creek Road, going down Poquoson Avenue, one right behind the other one, and they just zipped through there. They were both wearing dark clothes. If you didn't look in the right place, right time, you couldn't see them. I don't want to see anybody killed on those.
Yes, sir.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So the definition of a golf cart, 2 people and 2 bags. I can't think of any of the golf carts in town that I see fit that description.
Either.
You're correct.
What happens to those people? Is there a grandfather? If it's the rule of the road in Virginia, that's a whole lot of hurting.
Well, it's not the rule of the road in Virginia, it's the rule of the road in Poquoson.
Okay.
It's directly out of the Poquoson City Ordinance that was adopted, I think, in '08. Yeah, somewhere around '08 was when council adopted the current golf cart ordinance, and that's how it was incorporated.
To follow up on that, staff or any of us recommend looking at that for a rewrite? Well, yeah, to change the definition.
If you leave it to a 2-person golf cart with room for golf clubs in the back, you're going to irritate a whole bunch of citizens in this city.
Maybe 15 of my neighbors.
If I could add one thing that I was very surprised about when I got a little bit deeper into this recently, I know just from casual observation that there are many what could be described as golf carts in the city, not to mention e-bikes, motorized scooters, that sort of things. But to focus specifically on golf carts, as Chief Gates described earlier, all the requirements that must be met to include obtaining the annual golf cart permit for a $10 fee. There's a grand total of 9 in the community
That are registered?
that are registered. So let me repeat that just for emphasis. Out of all the golf carts in town, 9 of them are legal. That's it. 9. So we intend, as the city government, to do a much better job on informing and educating the public. And when we're satisfied that that effort has been completed as best we can, then we'll leave that up to the professionals on how to deal with it from there on the enforcement side of things. But first and foremost, we have to look out for the safety of all that use our street sidewalks here in Poquoson. So, thank you.
Okay. So to continue on the how we enforce a lot of these type vehicles, like I said, with underage violators, we'll contact a parent and have them come and we'll explain the ordinances appropriate to them. A lot of times we will do a warning. We don't have a warning ticket per se, but the officers will issue a verbal warning and we document that in our database in what we refer to as a field interview. So they document who, where, when, and why we encountered them, and the result of that being a warning for whatever violation. The next step, if it continues, is a summons. And if there's repeated violations that result in summons, the law does allow us to impound whatever vehicle that is in violation as evidence of that violation. And so that's the progression through the enforcement piece. One of the things that what we're looking at going forward, and I know everybody's busy right here in the peak of the holidays, but we also have folks thinking about Christmas gifts. And so what we're planning to do once we get through the holidays, just after Christmas, we're going to continue some social media campaigns that we traditionally do as far as our awareness of bicycle awareness. There's a particular time of year that statewide law enforcement and other government agencies like to bring attention to shared use of the roadways. We'll continue some of those. One of the things we currently do and we plan to continue is our SROs do deliver safety instruction in class. They're not just DARE, they're not just talking about resisting drugs. There are other safety mechanisms that are discussed through those classroom forums. We recently got a couple of our folks certified to help us out to do the bike rodeos. With turnover in staff in recent years, we were down to only one instructor that wouldn't, and that's just not enough to pull off a rodeo where you're trying to teach a bunch of young folks at one time how to operate safely. And so we've gotten staffing back up where we need that to be. So once we get through the cold weather to where we can get out and plan these, we'll get back to putting these on for the young folks in our community. We're planning to do a mass mailing after the holidays. We have we're developing, I've sent it back for some corrections, a bike safety flyer, pamphlet. We already have one on parking regulations in our community, and we've got one. I just had them. I sent it back last week for one final correction. Then I'm gonna let Mr. Wheeler review it and get his opinion for golf cart regulations. So my plan is right after we get through the holidays, these 3 pamphlets that condense the regulations, safety recommendations, all of that, and anything that I need to change based on what council decides to do with this information. We're going to put those in every single mailbox in the city of Poquoson. Every home will receive a copy of this. I'm also going to speak with the school superintendent to put that same information in the end of the year packet that goes home with all of our students. Because it is in the summertime that we see an increase in our young people inappropriately operating some of these alternative modes of transportation on our roadways. We plan to work with Parks and Rec as they publish the Island Tide to get that information out to our community. We're going to include some of this information in the next issue of the Island Tide. And of course, like I say, I started out with, we'll still try to ramp up some of our social media publications, and the fire department has a page and the city has a page as well, and we work with them pretty well on having them share the same data because they have followers we don't, and vice versa. And so we plan on doing all of that. And so that's the presentation I've got together, and I'll be glad to answer any additional questions. Or try
Quick
to.
comment on the mayor's statement about only 9 registered or legal golf carts in the city. As many as we see, I don't believe all our citizens are just, reckless lawbreakers. So obviously, we need to step up that education for the golf carts. I don't see all that many bicycle violations, but apparently a lot of golf carts, if only 9 of them are registered.
Yes.
I have a question. You mentioned that the electric scooters and skateboards are not allowed on sidewalks, but bicycles themselves can be allowed on sidewalks. And there was an age restriction on that? Am I right? No, there's no age.
There
Okay.
used to be.
Okay.
But that was a change legislatively a few years ago where they changed that. In years past, the general rule was if you were 16 or over, you had to ride on the street. If you were under 16, you operated on a sidewalk. And that was changed legislatively just a few years ago to where those age restrictions were taken away.
How about for e-bikes?
They are treated exactly like bicycles.
Okay, thank you.
The legislation, was that state legislation?
Yes, sir.
Will you be coming back to us with regard to helmet requirement?
I can't answer that question right now. That'll be discussed after tonight.
Got it.
Any other questions from council members?
I think we all learned some new stuff.
No doubt. No doubt. Chief, your presentation was spot on, very thorough, and as you can tell by the lack of questions, you pretty much covered all the bases. So thank you for that, for being with us tonight. Randy or Mr. Moore, did y'all have anything to add?
One thing I would add is there's probably not one single golf cart in the city that has moved the golf clubs in the back. All those have been converted to a back seat.
Sir? All right, thank you. I'd also like to compliment staff for estimating the time required for the topics for the work session. They're just about spot on. So staff, thank you. My compliments.
Once in a while.
Yes, sir. Well done on that. Looks like we're about 3 minutes to 7, so we'll take a brief break. We'll adjourn the work session, and we'll be back very shortly, and we'll call the regular session to order. Thank you.
Welcome over.
Yes, we're ready to go.
Good evening, welcome to all. This regular session meeting of the Poquoson City Council is called to order. Appreciate all y'all coming out tonight, especially with the snowy conditions outside. We could all please rise. I'll lead us in the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Father God in heaven, we come to you tonight in prayer to express our gratitude for the greatest gift ever given to mankind. Thank you for blessing us with your Son, Jesus, whose birth we will celebrate in just a few weeks. Please help us to always remember the true reason that we celebrate and help us to follow his example and always love others as you. Public servants, please lead us, guide us, direct us to do your will as we make decisions. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible.
Thank you all. Would also like to recognize tonight, we have with us our school superintendent, Mr. Artie Tillett. So thank you, Artie, for being with us. We do appreciate that. I know we have one speaker in just a few minutes, but would also like to discuss our amended agenda, just due to the inclement weather. The presentation that we had scheduled from Nikki Johnson, she's a regional economist with the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission. She had planned to be with us, but we felt it best under conditions to postpone that to a better night, along with the VDOT presentation we had planned related to the Victory Boulevard improvements. So we will reschedule those for another night when the weather's a little bit better. But under item C, we still have our 2025 employee recognitions. Okay, took that one out as well. Okay, very good. Well, we will move on at this time to our audience for visitors. We will open the floor for public comment related to the city. We have one speaker tonight, former councilman and vice mayor, Mr. Harold Quinn. Mr. Quinn lives at 9 Oakmore Drive. So, Mr. Quinn, welcome. The floor is yours.
I don't have a large staff, it's just me, so I'm going to pass these out to you that will help you understand.
Mr. Quinn, yeah, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Tanya.
If there's not enough, I have more. On September 15th of 2025, I attended the Planning Commission meeting. At that time, the chairman provided an open statement that the comprehensive plan ordinance was a non-binding, long-range planning document for a not zoning action. City staff followed the recommendations on changing the language of the comprehensive plan. My concern is access to Yorktown Road from Oakmore Drive for new development. Using the information available and my knowledge of the last development that was established for Oakmore Drive, I calculated that approximately there would be 2 homes per acre. Using the 97-acre number provided by city staff, that would specify that a minimum of 194 homes would enter Yorktown Road. The language stated in the proposed language to the comprehensive plan is to allow landlocked properties who are not able to focus or get to Yorktown Road would be able to acquire a path on Victory Boulevard with focus on existing intersections of City Hall Avenue, Legacy Boulevard, or the Big Woods Drive. I took the time to walk the Oakmore area. I found, especially behind Oakmore Drive, I found the elevation of the land behind Oakmore Drive is 14 to 16 inches lower than the top of the road. The elevation continues at this until you pass the Poquoson Place apartments. At that point, the elevation starts to gradually increase, and by the time you get to O'Reilly's Automotive, you'll find that the elevation is about the same as what you would see when you look at the land as you're going down Victory Boulevard. Following this, I received the properties making up the proposed residential areas. There are 3 entities who control approximately 92 of the 97 acres in the residential area. 2 of these entities have access to Yorktown Road without using Oakmore Drive. The 3rd entity is landlocked, but it falls right behind one of the entities that has access to Yorktown Road. Based on my findings, I would like to propose a feeder road very similar to Running Man, which proper planning and agreement between the landowners and city staff, the feeder road would be the beginning of the road system in the proposed residential and commercial properties. This road would provide 3 things. First, it would allow spur roads to access. These spur roads would allow the small residential areas with green space and access for commercial properties without access to Victory Boulevard. This would also ensure no landowner would be landlocked. Second, it would allow for parks and playgrounds to be in the area accessed by the citizens of Poquoson without traffic going through the spur roads to residential or commercial areas. Finally, in the case of a natural disaster or a human-caused disaster, if you had a blockage at Yorktown Road above Westover Shores, it would provide easy access to the Victory Boulevard. The same would occur if you had an access problem at the Big Woods Drive. It would allow you to move access to Yorktown Road. What I'd like to do is specify again that some serious thought be given to looking at this type of road that would link between the 2. What it basically does is not only affects the people that are in the residential area, but it also would set back and allow the commercial activity that's not on Victory Boulevard to have the capability of getting to either Yorktown Road or Victory Boulevard. What you have in front of you are the 3 entities that make up the 91 acres. And my concern is either one of those 3 could come in tomorrow with a production plan or a subdivision plan and say, I'd like to provide it. If they do, and it meets the zoning and your present subdivision ordinance, you're going to pass it, even though you would like to have a long-term plan that is a master plan for the whole area. That is a major concern and why I feel that some work has to be done, and hopefully to resolve the issue with these 3 large areas that could easily be made into a subdivision. Thanks for your time.
Mr. Quinn, thank you very much for being here and sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Do we have any other speakers tonight? Very well. We will close the audience for visitors. Move on to the approval of the minutes of the work session from November 10th, 2025. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Christie, call for vote, please.
Vice Mayor Bunting.
Aye.
Councilman Fye. Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard.
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett.
Aye.
Mayor Hupp.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie. Next item, under item E, is approval of the minutes of the regular session from November 10th, 2025. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Christie?
Councilwoman Emmett.
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard.
Aye.
Councilman Fye.
Aye.
Councilman Southall.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Mayor Hupp. Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie. Item F on the agenda is a public hearing, and at this time, we will open the public hearing. This is related to amendments to the fiscal year 2026 amended budget. We have two ordinances tonight to discuss. We have with us Ms. Tara Woodruff. She is our finance director, and she's going to give us a presentation on the first ordinance. At that time, I'll provide an opportunity for council members to ask questions or make comments. Then I'll open the floor for public comment pertaining to that ordinance before we take a vote. So Tara, the floor is yours, and thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Hucks and council members. At the November council meeting, you were presented the FY25 audit, and at the end of FY25, the unassigned fund balance in the general fund increased by 1.3 million to 13.7 million. So tonight, we have 9 recommendations to use 1.2 million of the general fund unassigned fund balance. So first, we are recommending that $360,000 be utilized to establish a reserve for the Disabled Veteran Tax Exemption Program. We've talked about this before, and as you know, the amount of tax exemptions has continued to increase substantially, and this would be available if needed during a future year. The second recommendation is to utilize $180,000 to complete repairs at the community center, which involves removing the chimney, painting, and fixing siding and floors. Third, we are recommending that $175,000 be used to purchase a dump truck replacement. This was approved in the CCIP, and we plan for debt issuance. However, this would allow cash funding instead of debt, so that would save the debt service associated with that. The fourth recommendation is to utilize $170,000 to have funds available for a north side of Victory property acquisition. You discussed that tonight at your work session. Mr. Hux mentioned that this would allow funds to be available, and the city manager could move on that if needed. The fifth recommendation is for $100,000 to transfer to the Capital Projects Fund for facility maintenance repairs. And recently, a facility condition study was completed on the municipal building and the former police building. And it was recommended that the municipal building be demolished due to its age and condition. And the former police building needs to be painted and have new doors, windows, and floors installed. The sixth recommendation utilizes $75,000 for a roof replacement at Fire Station 2. That was also part of a facility condition study as well. The seventh item is $70,000 to replace information technology network equipment that is approximately 10 to 17 years old. This includes network cables, switches, and fiber at City Hall, Parks and Rec, and Public Works that need to be replaced. The eighth recommendation is to utilize $50,000 for shoreline needs at Emery's Wharf. As you know, that was a large shoreline project that was recently completed, but thereafter there were some storms which caused sand to be overwashed. So we need to install clean beach sand along with new Spartina sprigs replanted. And the final recommendation is to utilize $20,000 as a local match for the Virginia Port Security Grant to purchase a new boat for the fire department. This grant provides 75% of the boat cost, and this would be a local match to support that. This would allow the fire department to deploy much faster in the event of an emergency situation. So you have for your consideration an ordinance making additional appropriations and transfers to the general fund and the capital projects fund, and I would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Tara. Council members, Jeannie?
Do we know, and this may not be for Tara, do we know when the municipal building is then scheduled to be demolished based on that recommendation?
I need to take care of it. The answer is going to be pretty soon thereafter if you approve this money.
After you agree with this money, there's a few things that we need to first prepare. We need preparement of department staff coming out of municipal building, going into their new location. Once we make sure everything's cleared, i.e. materials, whatever we have left over there, then we'll go ahead and put that out to bid to bring the building down.
Okay, so my follow-up question to that is, the seventh recommendation includes Parks and Rec in the recabling. Parks and Rec's in the municipal building. Is this to assume its new location?
It does assume the new location, but it assumes the location not only for the department, but for the use of the old police headquarters, because we have not determined yet who's going to go in there. Either way, when that came out, the old police building was not factored in, so what would be going in the municipal will go into the old police building.
Okay. So the municipal building isn't going to be slated for fiber replacement if it's going to get torn down?
That is correct.
Thank you.
You kind of hit on one of my questions, was $100,000 to do work on the old police station / library / Poquoson Pharmacy, or whatever. Tank too, okay. We don't know what's going to go in there. We don't.
We do have some assumptions going in. We are still actively working out with the departments to make sure we have all their needs identified before releasing that information. Clearly, we do need to find space for Parks and Rec. We had hoped to move voter registrar over to the location, but we have found out that my expectation of their needs was not nearly what they needed to make sure the early voting could happen. So therefore, that one comes off the board. So we're working different avenues to make sure that space is best utilized with city staff.
Wondering if the 100,000 could be kind of set aside, because it may cost more, it may cost less.
What we typically do, we ask for more, and if it does cost less, that'll go back into the capital project reserve with an opportunity to come forth to city council to use it for other things.
Just looking for, this is definitely what we're going to put in there, therefore we need to do this.
Well, we're definitely putting departments in there. Right now, of course, with the municipal building needed to slated come down, our first option is to move Parks and Rec. But we have to work out the logistics with the programming and how that all works out as well. But if that doesn't work out, we do have another plan, but we have not spoken to those departments, so therefore I kind of would like to hold that close to the chest.
Okay.
Those were very insightful questions, and Tanya, you fielded those questions like the seasoned professional that you are. So thank you. You make it look easy.
Tanya, I'm sorry, and I know you and I have spoken, and I think one of the things too, kind of to piggyback on that discussion, is the Odd Road Community Center. And again, if the municipal building is coming down, some of those programs may need to go to the community center, which also needs to have some structural upgrades or some maintenance done and that, so that some of those programs can be relocated
Yes,
there
ma'am.
as well.
Currently, we have a few programs that do require the kitchen in the municipal building. So that is part of the program, is get the community center up. So therefore, those programs can go over there safely and utilize the kitchen, and there's no concern.
Another good one, Angie, thank you. Any other questions, council members? Yeah, Keith?
I've got several.
Okay.
The first, well, all we need is 3 more. We have the 12 days of Christmas here, but first recommendation is to utilize $360,000. I was just pointing out when I was talking to the mayor today that the Disabled Veteran Tax Exemption Program is really the Virginia Disabled Tax. It almost sounded like it was because it's not ours. It's the state thing. But the $360,000 is like a first best guess chunk of money for what we're going to undoubtedly need as the years come ahead.
Let me handle this one.
Yes, please, Randy.
As you will perhaps recall, in the current year, our natural revenue growth, meaning not associated with a tax increase or reassessment, was about slightly less than $810,000, of which we had to subtract $700,000 year over year adopted because of the increase in this program. That meant that our net natural revenue in the current fiscal year was 109 at adoption. Since then, if you recall from the last report Steve Clark provided to you, that's gone up by an additional $200,000. So we're actually negative natural net revenue growth in a year. But we're trying, because we don't have any control over this curve, and it's going from this to that, we think that it's appropriate to have a reserve for a mid-year adjustment to be able to stick money in there to offset that cut, because you may recall going back 2 years, we had a significant hole associated with this well in the middle of the year, but the amount of money that was in the bank and earning interest for the public safety building was our sort of saving grace. Our interest earnings were substantially higher than our projected, but as that building has gone away in the financial aspect of it, we don't have that reserve anymore. So as things are getting tighter, this is a reserve not to get us from year to year, but to keep us healthy within a year, so that if this curve, which it's a little bit dated, but if we had this reserve right now, just looking at the reserve and the impact, we'd already be $200,000 into it. So that's what we're trying to protect, is a mid-year hit to a budget. We do a lot of work together on the annual budget, but a $300,000 or $400,000 unanticipated hit in the middle of a year is, given our size, very difficult to respond to. So we're asking, put a reserve in place for that as another layer of protection.
No, I understand. I just want to make sure that people, if anybody listens out there, is doing it, and, it's a good first step, and congratulations for looking forward as versus, oh my gosh, what happened to it? That was the first question I had. The community center, what's that one? Number 2, second one. $180,000, the unassigned fund balance to 8 repairs. We started repairs back in like 21 or something like that. We had like 34,000 into it. What did we get for the 34? I'm in there twice a month on an average, and sometimes I know the HVAC was kind of a big hit, but what else is part of the 180, if you could help?
Well, so you had 2 questions, if I can may. You had the 34,000. We did not use all the complete 34,000. We still have 17,000 that continues to carry forward to go towards that building.
Right.
So in addition to the 180, we also have the 17,000. So the initial money was used for, like you said, the HVAC and a couple repairs to the outside to make sure the ADA ramp was properly accessible.
Right.
So with the additional funding that we're going to do, we're going to look to the roof, the siding, taking the chimney down. Since the chimney has been exposed, there has been a little bit of water damage that has gotten there, so we do have some structural issues that we need to look at. It's nothing to be alarmed. We still can have people in there, so when I say structural, we just need to make sure they're correct as we start sissing the building back up. Therefore, we're going to take care of that. And then, because the rain has damaged some of the floor, we're looking to take out a little bit of piece of the floor and do some kind of like tile. But ultimately, we want to keep the aesthetic of the wood floor that we currently have and make sure it's current.
Improvements in the kitchen area there?
We have not planned, but if there is money left over, we'll try to do our best to upgrade that as well. But what we have for the under 180 plus the 17 only identifies the roof, the siding, the painting inside, the floor, the chimney, and then underneath.
Okay, great, thank you. You already answered the one on number 5. Number 8, recommendation to utilize $50,000 unassigned fund for a transfer of the capital project for shoreline needs for Amory's Wharf. I remember this because I asked those questions a couple months ago. It seems like the numbers are getting up there and getting up there and up there again. And like I says, I pulled up my packet from back in May when we approved the most recent one, and from August of last year. Please tell me this will be the last time, because I'm all in favor of the living shoreline. It's just that from the original aspect of $100,000, we're now broaching $300,000.
I understand. It's basically giving bad sand after bad sand. No pun intended. But we were hit with some storms that we didn't anticipate. If we knew those storms were happening, of course, we would have delayed putting the new sand in and the Spartas that we did. This will put clean sand in. And then, of course, we're going to work with our Public Works Park Maintenance Group to maintain this location going forward. So, yes, this will be final for that, but no, I'm not going to say I'm not going to ask for more money for Amory's Wharf. Is that fair?
Yeah. Have we kept people from driving on it now?
Yes.
We have.
Good.
The boulders that we have put there have kept them from going on top of it.
Okay, great. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Keith. Any other questions from council members? Yes, please do.
Thank you. Amory's Wharf reminds me a little bit of South Lawson soccer fields. Not too long after I got here, we spent the money we needed to put good, clean, athletic field quality dirt down there, but before the grass could be completely rooted in, we had Norita and it washed out, and I had to stand in here and ask you all to invest more money in that, and that was a hard thing. And the living shoreline just had not taken enough to withstand the storm that hit it. And then, since I'm already talking, no one asked a question about the fireboat, but you will recall a year and a half or so, plus or minus, ago, we had a canal fire. And one of the things we wished was that we had quicker capability. Our large firefighting boat is regularly at the marinas, which is where it needs to be, because that's where the density of boats is, but that's not the totality of the need. And so what this smaller trailerable, stay on a trailer at Company 1 fireboat will do is allow us to directly deploy from a trailered fireboat to all of those other places, the canals and the others, even if we're bringing the larger boat across. This is a 7525 grant, yet another of the fire department's successful grant awards. And to be fair, they thought they would have enough money within their budget to pay that relatively small share. They just don't right now, so that's why we're here.
Thank you, Randy. Councilman?
Call the question.
Yes, sir.
No, that means we need to stop discussion.
Okay. All right, very good. I would like to elaborate just a little bit on the fourth recommendation, and Tara already teed me up, so thank you, Tara. Just wanted to expand a little bit. The fourth recommendation is to utilize $170,000 of the unassigned fund balance to have funds available for a north side of Victory Boulevard property acquisition. And just to restate what we had discussed during the work session. Earlier this year, City Council authorized the manager to make offers on parcels of property when they become available. Which that would be assessed value, and that would expedite the process, make the process more efficient and timely. The manager would be able to act on it or make an offer without coming directly back to council. But that stops short of providing the ability to actually make the purchase. If approved tonight, this $170,000 will be in a contingency fund to where the manager would be authorized not only make an offer, but to actually make the sale as well. Sometimes when properties come up, you have to act quickly. Felt that was a prudent thing to do, and hopefully we can authorize that. But wanted to expand on that a little bit just for everybody's understanding, and also to share our motivation for acquiring property on the north side of Victory, if possible. Of course, it would be purchased to use for the benefit of the greater good of citizens of Poquoson. We're thinking along the lines of outdoor amenities, such as a park, walking trails, and also just for the simple concept of preservation and conservation. So especially for preservation and conservation. So just want to make certain everybody understands our motivation doing what we're doing, so all that would be tied together. With that, I'll open the floor for public comment related to the particular ordinance. Okay, seeing none, we'll close the floor, and I'll ask Christie to please call for a vote. I'm sorry. Yeah, getting ahead of myself. Thank you. Do we have a motion and a second for the first ordinance?
Mr. Mayor, I propose an ordinance making additional appropriations and transfer for fiscal year 2026 in the general fund and capital projects fund.
Second.
Thank you. Christie, call for a vote, please.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hux?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Very well. Thank you, Christie. For a second ordinance, Tara will be back with us again.
Actually, we're going to ask the superintendent to introduce this, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, please do. We have with us tonight our superintendent of Poquoson City Schools, Mr. Artie Tillett. Artie, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council, Mr. Wheeler, and citizens. It's great to be here with you tonight. As you know, every year after the audit is complete, at least since I've been here, there has been a need to request carryover funds that are accrued through the previous year. Most of these funds come from vacancy savings. I remind folks often that about 83% of public schools' funds in Poquoson, and that's very typical around the country, are personnel. So when you have a vacant spot, that accrues over the year, and that generates significant vacancy savings, as that is the majority of our budget. We sent a letter to the city manager some weeks ago requesting the use of that carryover funds to be reallocated tonight to other projects, most of which are already on our approved capital improvement plan. In that document, you'll notice, and I'll just highlight some of the areas, the vast majority of those funds will go toward chipping away at this next year's CIP projects, including the high school tennis court. There's been a lot of talk about that court. If you haven't had a chance to go look at it, it's in desperate need of a overhaul, and we are at the stage of pulling the trigger on that as soon as these funds are approved tonight. Middle school gym air condition has been on the CIP for some years. That's also on our carryover request, and $271 for a new high school fire alarm system. That system is aged and in need of repair. There are some other smaller ticket items in the request. Each year that there are textbook and resource adoptions from the state, we budget that money, and then we anticipate the state providing the approved list to us. And generally it's done within the same FY budget cycle. But the last couple of years, you'll recall, we've had to come back to you and ask for carryover funds to buy those items, as the state has not given the vetted list until after the budget cycle is over and the fiscal year is closed. And as you know, June 30th of every year by ordinance, by state law, all public school funds go back to the funding partner, in this case the city. And so we're now asking for those funds back to buy those, in this case, math adoption textbooks that will be on our approved list Tuesday night for our school board. The two other smaller items are almost $47,000 for a hot water heater replacement at the high school. It is just decided not to operate anymore, so we need to replace that. We've put as many Band-Aids on that system as we can, so this is something that we can't cover in our operations budget, and would like to use carryover funds for that as well. And lastly, $25,000 for the replacement of the basketball goal system at the high school. Several of those goals are in ill repair, and the cabling that adjusts the goals up and down on the side courts are some frayed, so they need to be replaced as soon as possible. So that's kind of a general synopsis of the $1.6 million carryover request that's on your agenda for tonight. And I'm certainly available for any questions.
Thank you, Artie. Council members?
I can't, if I'm allowed. Beat you. Keith? I'll read this because I wrote it up. I was trying to figure out how to say it, but I wrote it out because I don't want to make mistakes. I don't have any issue with additional appropriations. I think they're all good. I'm going to vote for them. But I have a question. At the November 10 work session of the City Council and School Board, Tracy Spence your executive director for finance explained, well, quote, explained that the surplus was largely attributable to staffing vacancies unfilled during the fiscal year, which you mentioned. I'm assuming that the work accomplished by these missing staff members is being performed by others on the faculty and staff. I'd first like to thank those members of the Poquoson City Public Schools who are doing the extra work, because I know what that's like, likely for little or no extra pay. And second, I also assume that they are working, you're working on filling those empty seats. And of course, with that comes in, if we do fill those vacancies, will we not be able to tap the financial kind of windfall we get at the end of the year? I mean, is it kind of a trade-off?
It is. We are close to fully staffed. We have a couple of speech and language positions. They're kind of unicorns these days, hard to find those staff members. We've been advertising for some time. We're using contract labor services for those services now for our students. But we don't anticipate seeing these kind of carryover funds moving forward because we are fully staffed. And we have been using, in most cases, substitutes, contract laborers to provide the service, but we don't anticipate that moving forward. And I have to put in a selfish plug to say thank you. I think it's in large part to the hard work this council did in the last budget cycle to approve the comp study salary adjustments that have made a great difference in our recruiting efforts. So thank you, and I do think that moving forward we will see less requests for carryover funding. I hope that answers your question.
Yes. That's all I have.
That was basically my same question is, I know that we have been in a very fortunate position as far as our staffing over the last year or two, and I think especially this year, we're probably one of the more fully staffed in the region, if I recall, which is great. It's a good position to be in. So yeah, so basically the same thing as Keith. So hopefully that'll kind of equalize itself going forward.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. We are in an unusual situation that we're very proud of and thankful for, that we are almost fully staffed, and we're one of few school divisions, maybe even in the country, that can say that. We are in about the 5th or 6th year of a national educator shortage that is affecting school systems all over the country, and we took our lumps a few years, and now we're excited to be in the position we are, including, and I hate to even say this, but we're fully staffed on bus drivers, which is the first time, and maybe we may be the only school division.
You shouldn't have said that.
Oh, did I? Our HR director may have something to share.
No, you don't want to jinx it.
Oh, I don't want to say it. Okay, I was hoping you didn't. No, we are fortunate in that respect. We have an incredible team of bus drivers, but we've gone through a rough spot trying to make sure we cover all of our runs, and we are now fully staffed. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Good news. Yeah.
The items that are on the list that you said in the beginning that some of them were not necessarily on the plan,
Right.
right? Which items are you bringing forward now because these funds potentially are available, that means you won't be asking for that money next year, right?
Yeah, we don't anticipate asking for any of these things next year. These
Well,
are all
right.
one-time expenditures.
Right, I get that. I'm hoping that some of these were items that were docked for next year in your hopeful ask, that now if you're pulling them forward, then that might mean we have less of a request on city.
Absolutely. Yeah, these come directly off of the CIP that, is a 5-year plan, and each year you all consider items on there. A lot of times there's,
Except
all
for
your-
water heaters and things like that.
Those 3 items that just were not in anybody's
Emergent.
plan. And they were also, we typically cover most of those things in our maintenance operation costs, but these are larger ticket items than we can cover in those annual costs. But we don't anticipate seeing these kinds of things moving forward. And everything else, the vast majority of this was already on the CIP. So yes, we're paying it forward with money saved from this past year. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments for Artie? Well done, Artie. That's a good conversation, so my compliments to all. This time, we'll open the floor for public comment related to this ordinance. Seeing none, we'll close the floor and move on. Do we have a motion and a second, please?
Mr. Mayor, I move the council approve an ordinance making additional appropriations for fiscal year 2026 in the general fund and capital projects fund for the Poquoson City School System.
Second.
Thank you. Christie, call for vote, please.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Mayor Huss?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Very good. Thank you, Christie. Artie, thank you again for being here. Glad we can get this taken care of tonight and y'all can move ahead. Very good. Very good. All right. At this time, we will close the public hearing and we will move on to item G, new business. The first item under new business is an ordinance to amend the Chapter 14 of the Code of the City of Poquoson, Virginia by amending Division 3, Section 14-141, dangerous and vicious dogs. Mr. Moore, do you have anything to share with us on this topic?
We recently had incident of a potential vicious dog, and when I met with the enforcement officers, and we went through the city ordinances versus the state ordinances, it was pretty clear that our ordinance had not been brought up to date with some recent changes, and so this simply adopts the state ordinance dealing with vicious dogs. It doesn't add anything, it's the state law that allows us to adopt it, and we put in a clause that needs to be automatically updated as the state law is amended. Our ordinance will also stay in lockstep with the state ordinance. So I do think it's an appropriate amendment. We don't get this situation very often, but when it does, we need to have the appropriate ordinance.
Thank you for your due diligence and for your
My
recommendation.
due diligence, the enforcement officer came forward. We started going through what we had to do. We realized that we probably weren't where we need to be locally. We could have done something with the state warrant, but not with local ordinance.
Well, that's that collaborative approach that we emphasize so much. We appreciate the efforts of all involved. Any questions or comments from council members for Mr. Moore?
So, just to be clear, this is bringing us in line with what's going on at the state level, and it's not breed specific. We're not targeting breeds, or the state isn't targeting any specific animal. It has to do with what's defined by the state as.
What you see there, right under the state ordinance.
Right. That's it.
Okay, thank you,
I
Jean.
just want to be clear there.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you for making the point. Any others? All right, we have a motion and a second.
Mr. Mayor, I'm proposing an ordinance to amend Chapter 14 of the Code of the City of Poquoson, Virginia by amending Division 3, Section 14-141, dangerous and vicious dogs.
Second.
Thank you. Christie?
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting? Aye. Mayor Huss?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie. The next topic under new business is a resolution making appointments to the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission, the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization, and the Eastern Virginia Regional Industrial Facility Authority. If I can elaborate just a little bit on this, a big part of what we do is city council members here in Poquoson is to serve as ambassadors and diplomats. All 7 of us represent the city on various boards, commissions, and committees at the regional level, sometimes at the state level through the VML, Virginia Municipal League, is one that comes to mind. By representing the city in these capacities, we're able to network with a elected folks and professionals from other localities. We're able to develop relationships, and we use those relationships to benefit the greater good of not only the city of Poquoson, but the other cities, towns, and counties as well. We all work together as public servants. And tonight, we have a recommendation for Vice Mayor Bunting, Councilwoman Emmett, and Councilwoman Hubbard to expand their horizons a little bit and establish their identity and their own network of relationships at the regional level. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, the caliber of these three fine ladies, the city of Poquoson will be very well represented with regard to these commissions. So just wanted to expand on that a little bit, just for public knowledge. And with that, do we have a motion and a second?
Mr. Mayor, I propose a resolution appointing Councilwoman Jeannie Hubbard to the Hampton Roads Planning District Commission and Councilwoman Angie Emmett to the Hampton Roads Transportation Planning Organization, and Mayor David Hucks as alternate. These terms expire December 31, 2026. And, well, I got to finish, Councilman. And Vice Mayor Debbie Bunting to the Eastern Virginia Regional Industrial Facility as primary, and Mayor David Hucks as alternate. And these terms expire January 31, 2027.
Second.
Thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
I think that's a good choice.
No doubt, no doubt.
Three of them.
Chrissy?
Yeah, those are good
Councilman
choices.
Fye?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Mayor Hucks?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7.
Well, very good. Congratulations, gentle ladies of council. We appreciate y'all's willingness to serve.
Sure.
I know y'all will represent us all very well, so thank you for that. All right, moving on to the third topic under new business. This is an easy one. Anytime we can do anything to help our staff members like this, just to support quality of life, I think it's a great idea. This is a resolution closing the city offices on January 2nd, 2026, in observance of the New Year's holiday. Do we have a motion and a second?
Mr. Mayor, I propose a resolution closing city offices on January 2nd, 2026 in observance of New Year's holiday.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on that? Christie?
Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Mayor Hucks?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7-0.
Thank you, Christie. Thankful we can do this, and staff, I hope y'all enjoy your day off to go along with the New Year's. So that'll give y'all a 4-day weekend to go along with the 5-day weekend for Christmas. And so that's certainly well-deserved, and very thankful. That brings to a conclusion our new business, and on to item H, comments of the city manager. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I usually try to lead with something informative and good news. I'll hit one of those two with informative, and then I'll have to add a third thing just so I'll have some good news. And we'll be posting this out on our website and social media later in the week, but the week of December 15th, weather permitting, that's on Monday and Tuesday, we will be doing work to replace the traffic signal pole that was not that long ago hit by a car. It needs to be replaced. That will require some traffic shifts. Those 2 days scheduled 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. sharp. We're out of the roadway for the outgoing rush hour and well out before people start coming home. But unfortunately, we're replacing the pole that's closest to the Taylor Dental, And I learned this, I didn't know it, you might already, but the post goes down 19 feet deep, and that's quite a excavation. So we will have one lane closure. There will still be through traffic all the way, but we will be without a lane during those two construction times. And the final thing that I have before I circle back to the good news, and this is so recent I've not had a chance to even inform all of you, but with great sadness but also appreciation for her many contributions, I'm letting you know that Tara has given us her resignation as effective the end of the month. She will be going on to be the finance director in Gloucester County. She and her team have done extraordinary service for us, and we will miss you, but we wish you a lot of great success there. I know you enjoyed your time as a school finance director previously, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it again. So I'm going to circle back to something I wasn't going to talk about, which was, hey, the Christmas tree lighting and the Frosty Fester was awesome. That's all I have, sir.
I second that. Thank you, Randy. Also, Tara, the fruits of your labor are self-evident. Actions speak louder than words, and it's plain to see what you and your staff have been able to accomplish, and for that we're truly grateful. Every citizen of Poquoson has benefited from your high level of professionalism and that of your staff. And I know we've had a long line of very fine professionals hold the title of finance director. One, of course, is seated immediately to your left is our assistant city manager, Ms. Tanya O'Connell. But best wishes to you as always. Move on now to item I, council directives. Angie?
I think the only thing I have tonight is for those at home, if you can sign up for the city's email distribution list. I know I mention this so often, but please tell your friends and your neighbors and everybody things like probably this construction that's upcoming, closures, all of that, recycling bins, all comes through the email blasts, and our Jessica, our public information officer, has been on the ball, putting information out there, and I know it's hard to get to everybody, so if you can get on the email distribution list and tell all your neighbors to do so, that really helps just get all of this information that is of interest out there. And Tara, you will be very, that's all I have.
Thank you, Angie. Keith?
Oh, thank you. I got a few things here. First one, attended the Library Advisory Board meeting on the 19th of November, and talk about thanking Jessica. She's also the director of the library, among other things. She reported like a 23% increase in the number of visits to the library in the last year, 31% increase in the number of library cards distributed. Also, kind of funny, the DVDs and CDs are trending downward, but there's been an increase in computer web use, library's website, mainly to make appointments for use of the rooms that they have there, as well as passports, which keep growing. I also attended the Virginia Peninsula Community College Board meeting, which was held at the elementary school last Wednesday, the 3rd of December. It was set up by Mary Sandy. It went over really well. Acoustics for those in the audience is perfect for a library, but not great for those of us who are observing. But for the people that were part of the board, they having things, everything went really well. And as soon as they ended, there was a bunch of camaraderie going on, which was really nice to see. Thanks to Mary for putting that together. I think it's the first time the board has ever met off of a campus, which is pretty neat. Frosty Festival, already mentioned. Can't leave, I don't know what I'm going to say it. Kudos to the football team. I know it's hard to say so shortly after they get. I'm sure they're all still disappointed at the coming in second on the Saturday night or Saturday afternoon. But they did a great job this year. Just ran up against the opponent at the wrong time when they were peaking. So for those of us from Cleveland, always say we'll get them next year. And that's usually the way it goes. And last but not least, the Poquoson Mobile Food Pantry distribution will be this coming Thursday. on the 11th of December. If you'd like to volunteer, we can always use volunteers, especially this late in the season. Be there about 8:30. The volunteer group for this month will be Poquoson Presbyterian Church members, and we're looking forward to them coming out and getting the food out to those in need this time of year. Thank you.
Keith, thank you for your comments. Could you share with the public, please, what Mary Sandy does for us, what her role is?
Oh, I'm sorry. She is the board member that represents all of Poquoson, and an excellent job. And I've talked with her both times. I've been to their meetings, and she just fit right in. I mean, she's like that missing puzzle piece for their board, and to fit right in. So bringing good things to Poquoson from that. And of course, the community college down there is doing good jobs. I was told that in January they're going to be having their reopening the Mary T. Christian Auditorium, which was the building that collapsed. It was supposed to be done in November, but you know how things go when you're building the building.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but Mary does a great job. She's like I said, she's a perfect fit for that.
Thank you for sharing that with us, and we really appreciate what Miss Sandy does for us as well. Sallow?
Well, I would again like to thank everybody at home and who came out tonight for paying attention to the city government. I invite you all to apply to the various boards and commissions of the city. We're always in need of one somewhere. And thank Mr. Quinn for personally coming out here tonight. He's obviously paying attention to the city government, making this presentation here tonight. Very thoughtful presentation, and because of the presentation, it's obviously also pays attention to the planning commission. So thank you very much for your attention to the city government. Everyone should do that. Thank you.
I just wanted to say that, we're entering into, the best season that we all know of for unity and family. And Poquoson does a really good job at kicking that off at the beginning of the year with the Frosty Fest, with the memory tree lighting, with the parade. Unfortunately, sometimes things get rained out. But we have school concerts that are coming up, and you should really go out and enjoy our young people as they share their gifts and play Sleigh Ride Again. And the Virginia Choral Society, of which several of our citizens are members, their concerts this coming weekend. Take the opportunities to go and share with people who are sharing their talents to celebrate this season. Thank you.
Do we have dates for those school concerts?
I don't have those dates for the school concerts, but the school has been doing a really great job of promoting all the different activities lately on social media. They've done such a great job promoting our young people who are marching in parades and the different things that they're doing. I'm hopeful that information's out there. I'm sure it's on the school websites.
Thank you.
We know a guy. And I'm hopeful that he will send us a list and we can send it on to you.
I would be happy to send that to
Please do.
the city manager's office. And we can get that distributed, but it is on our website, and our schools send out a weekly newsletter, each school, and there's a lot of information in that. So I'd encourage folks to get a hold of that. And again, it is listed on our website as concerts. There is, my calendar is full. It's going to be, as you say, Mr. Hubbard, there going to be a lot of exciting things going on in the schools in the next couple of weeks. Enjoy it.
Thank you, Artie. Appreciate your input. Freeman?
The only additional thing I have is just wish everyone a Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Debbie?
Thank you, Tara, for your work with the city, with the school system as well before the city. Best wishes to you. Thank you for all you've done for both the schools and the city. And we are in the best time of the year. There's a lot of things going on at our local churches as well as the schools. Try to find out that information. I know at some point the city website sometimes has things, churches, things are going on. I'm not sure if we have anything, on the website right now, but I know I've seen that in the past. If there's local churches that would like to get that word out, I'm sure that would be an avenue. Also, just want to wish everyone, since this will be our last meeting until January 26th, it sounds like really far away, but it's not. It's right around the corner. So just want to wish everyone Merry Christmas. Hope you get time, school system, city staff, all of our citizens, hope you get time to spend a lot of quality time with your family. And best wishes to all for a Happy New Year as well.
Thank you, Debbie. As usual, I'd like to thank Ms. Alicia Barefoot for her IT support. Wouldn't be able to have the meetings without our IT professionals, so thank you, Alicia, for that.
Solo tonight, too, so she gets an extra thank you.
Yes.
Double
Yes.
pay.
Yeah, all by ourselves tonight, so be even busier than usual. So well done, Alicia. Thank you.
Definitely nothing.
Tonight, we also have a closed session pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A8 of the Code of Virginia from 1950, as amended to consult with the city attorney on a specific legal matter. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Christie?
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard? Councilwoman Emmett?
Aye.
Mayor Hubbard?
Aye.
7-0.
Thank you, Christie. We're now in closed session. All right, at this time, we'll move on to item K on our agenda, which is reconvenement and certification of our closed session. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Thank you. Questions or comments?
As for certification,
Yes, that is reconvenement and certification of the closed session.
both.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, that covers both of them. Christie?
Councilwoman Hubbard? Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Bennett?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Mayor Hugs?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you, Christie. And item L is adjournment. Do we have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Christie.
Councilman Southall?
Aye.
Councilman Freeman?
Aye.
Councilwoman Hubbard?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Bunting?
Aye.
Councilman Fye?
Aye.
Councilwoman Bennett? Mayor Hugs?
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 7 to 0.
Thank you, Christie. We are adjourned.